Hi everyone and welcome to Pick a Card reading. Today I thought we'll do Pick a Card message from three of the latest gods that I've been drawing, Baldur, Odin and Ra. So you can pause this video if you want to and meditate. This is Baldur, this is how I imagine Baldur would look. And this is Odin. And the third one is Ra, the Egyptian god Ra. I imagine what he would look like if he didn't have a bird head. And you can meditate on this. Where is your message? You might get more than one pile. And when you're ready, you can go and click on the timestamp and get your reading. Okay everybody, this is your reading. So it's a general reading from, I'm going to contact the gods from the fifth plane, but it's going to happen through the creator of all. And creator will also give you a message, so it will, some of it will be from creator of all. And so first we're going to go to creator of all. I'm going to ask if Baldur wants to communicate with us. We're going to start casting the runes and see. So okay, what is Baldur saying? Show us through your loving connection, Baldur. Okay, so Baldur wants definitely to communicate, and this has to do with this is actually, I feel, has to do with people. So this is going to most likely be about relationship and soul family, and also the destiny of your soul. And you are your higher, and also higher self, because this is your higher self. So many of you guys in this pile, you're your own guide as well. And Baldur wants to say that you are also your own guide. So when you're asking your guide, sometimes you're getting messages from your higher self. That's really important. Okay, so we'll get a message from. So a Knight of Cups. So your lessons moving forward now will be a lot easier than what they've been in the past. And the relationship you have with other people will be easier. So you got through something. It would have been a tunnel almost of maybe it's a few difficulties, but you got through it, and now things are easier. So things will be a lot easier for you moving forward. And Page of Wands, and more fun as well. More fun, more lighthearted, and a lot of people will come into your life. And justice reverse. If there's been an injustice in your life, a lot of you have decided to let something go that maybe a lot of other people wouldn't have. Maybe you just decided to move on from something because you realize being stuck in it, being stuck thinking about it and worrying about it is not gonna help. So you let something go and you decided to distance yourself from a situation. And you're focusing more on humanitarianism, but it's all more ideas that can benefit humanity. So it's not necessarily charity, it can also just be inventions that are really powerful. It's ideas that are liberating. So you're creating more freedom in your life. And less is more until the time is right. That's the message with Ace of Wands reversed. So you're simplifying your life. And they're talking also about a relationship here. So Baldur is also showing here a loving relationship. And you've had to make a decision in relationship. And you made a heartfelt decision that was based on what you wanted in your heart. And here is the Empress, and I think you were rewarded for that decision. Queen of Wands, and what I feel in this pile is that you had to love someone when they didn't deserve it. And because you loved them when they didn't deserve it, you got such a reward for that. Because now that this particular person is all the things that you wanted. And there's been a shift in the confidence of the person, but also in you as well. And now it is a spiritual connection. So you realize something about this connection that was very, very old, and I'm not saying it was old and outdated. It was way back in your soul. like it's a soul connection that goes way, way back. It's timeless, actually. So it wasn't something you could just walk away from. And you connected on a deeper level. 6 of Swords, but it's reversed. So it's like you must have gone through a storm, and I think people in this pile will realize that you do it all again if you had to. You go through how many storms you had to. 10 of Wands reversed, and the whole reason it happened was to awaken you both. So it had to awaken you from the tasks, because it was like seeing the woods for the trees. But there's so much more they wanted you to look at. It has to do with the star. They wanted you to wake up to new ideas, new ways of thinking. That there's a whole other way of living your life that is completely different from how you were living it. Because it was probably more stressful and more cluttered and more complicated and very task-oriented. And they wanted to bring you more joy and happiness. And all the ceremonies, because there's something to do with ceremonies coming up. I feel like it's you come to some kind of realization that it's only what's true in your heart that's real, and all the ceremonies and everything that we do, that is, we do them because we do them, and they're traditions, but they don't really mean anything unless it's truly what you feel in your heart. That has been the awakening in this pile here. And 2 of Cups, because it just fell out. So it could be that this relationship has shifted and changed even how you think about relationships, and maybe you had to challenge yourself. See, in what regards to heart, yeah, love. It's like you have to challenge yourself what you even think about love and what love is. Because it's not what you thought it was, and you've gone through this lesson, now you see it for truly what it is. This lesson was to teach you to love someone completely and to be loved completely. That is what Baldur is saying. That's what's coming up. So it's the love that survives anything and everything. So let's have a look also in the cards. So we're asking through the loving creator, through the loving energy of creator, we're asking for Baldur to come through and give us a message for this pile here. So Baldur actually is, he has a lot of thoughts and ideas about this. It's a lot of philosophy, it's a lot of, I feel also there's a lot of opinions, because I'm being shown there's so many opinions and we get lost in opinions. But it's unconditional love. And I'm also being shown a baby. So for some of you, you're going to have a baby, or you had a baby, or the baby is what you care about the most. So it's a symbol of what is it that you care about the most. Like you never forsake your baby, no matter what. And it can be this relationship. And it's also your relationship that you have with yourself, your higher self, and the creator of all. It's all part of this, the most important relationship. Okay, Baldur, show us. But I feel like there's going to be more success and popularity once you have realized this. And I think you already have for some. You already have this realization, and a lot of stuff got just, it was just made redundant, basically, not important anymore. Then that actually shifted your energy and it elevated your vibration, and now you, as a result, you're getting a lot of popularity, but you're not asking for it, and that's why you're getting it. You were put through this tunnel, and for those of you who are still in it, you're in this tunnel to learn to ask the right questions. Because how can your higher self, your guides, the gods, and the creator of all reach you if you're asking the wrong questions? They can't answer you if you're asking the wrong questions. They want you to ask the right question. They need you to see the right stuff. They need you to see what is important. But first you have to be in almost a confused state, so that you start asking what is actually going on. And you're going to ask, what is going on? Show me. And you're going to be shown what is going on in your specific situation. And that is going to be a ripple effect then to all these other things that's happening And then you're going to be able to see everything so clearly. But first you'll have to be a detective, actually. You have to be a detective and ask all the right questions so that you can get all the right answers. Knight of Wands in block position. It's a very strong personality operating in your life, and it can also be you. You're a strong personality, and sometimes you're battling and fighting with yourself. So they want to shift your energy from Knight of Wands to Queen of Wands, no matter what gender you are, because this Queen of Wands is someone who's very empowered. Someone who... she's a metaphysic, but she also loves this world as well. So she doesn't want to escape this world. She loves this world, but she loves to bridge heaven and earth. And that's a message here from Baldur: bridge heaven and earth. And you had, for some of you, you've had some bad examples in your life, bad role models. Maybe someone really let you down early in life. Maybe that was something that lasted for many, many years. And then you were basically taught who you don't want to be or what you don't want to become. I'm going to ask also the dice. But Seven of Swords is a bit of a tricky one. Seven of Swords is also when we are being shown what is not good about people, so that we don't get so invested in relationships that we lose ourselves. So we always have a little bit of caution and don't sacrifice too much of ourselves for other people, because it's almost like you've been shown that other people don't actually deserve you giving your heart and soul. Other people are just people in the world, and you need to have really strong boundaries with them. And you need to have discerning who is your soul family and who is not, and who is your true soulmate and who is not. And if you are too positive about other people, if you see them only in a good light and never in a bad light, you're gonna get confused about who they truly are. So they had to waken you up, and maybe you asked also to have these lessons early, because they're more difficult lessons. But then you learn it, you're more discerning, and then you become more of a, you're a free spirit basically, and you don't want to be controlled. So, Seven of Swords, 2, yeah. So someone was lying in a way that it broke your boundary, and maybe you had to lie to survive as well. Knight of Cups. So it could also be like that you watched people getting what they wanted at all costs, and then you watched them not getting what they wanted at all because they didn't have the perspective. So you learned what they were wanting to teach you was perspective, actually, and we'll see if you learn perspective, because in the line straight away here, yeah, you learned perspective. You became really focused. 10 of Wands. You got answers to your prayers, and I feel like it had to do with what you're doing for a living. So you became very independent in how you work. But they also wanted you then, after you got that lesson, they wanted you to get another lesson. And that was to become a master of laws. So you were most likely on a metaphysical journey where you started learning about spiritual laws, and for some of you, physics and math as well. So for some of you, it became about the spiritual laws, but also laws in the here and the now. So, and some of those lessons are coming in your future actually as well. So some of you haven't received them yet. 4 of Swords. So you're gonna reach some kind of this is in your dreams. You're gonna get a lot of downloads in your dreams. You're gonna get a lot of spiritual understanding in your dreams. They are gonna put you in a meditative state to give you information. But it's to unlock something. It's like a question you always had, and they want to give you the key. They want to unlock your mind to receive this information. It's very specific. Let's see, what is it? 5 of Pentacles. So for some of you, you're going to become master manifester. It's something to do with the law of non-resistance. You're going to let go of your attachments. Some of you are going to figure out how to use the laws on the 6th plane to let go of attachments to the material world. And here we're getting to... Oh, no, that is actually Page of Pentacles reversed. So it's like... Maybe for some of you, you're going to become some kind of master manifester of the on the physical. We see what else is showing up, but it's almost like you're learning to detach in a way that it becomes a non-resistant energy to you. So you're always in the flow of abundance and receiving. At the moment, you're working on a few kinks in regards to codependency, and also knowing that you're worthy and deserving of receiving and following your heart and your dreams. And you're observing someone who's very, very popular. Someone who always gets what they want. But you are being taken to the laws again. And some of you will be very drawn to stars as well. Some of you will have some kind of shift in your frequency so that you're able to access laws. And again, it has to do with manifesting money. Manifesting abundance. Travel. Some of you could be like, yeah, you want to get detached. You want to be more detached. You're working on detachment. And also some of you are astral traveling. Some of you will be traveling, but it's really the mind that's traveling here. You will get 9 of Swords. So if you've asked to receive more abundance, for example, you will be faced with a lot of your own shadow side. Because the shadow side is how we sometimes ground ourselves. And we ground ourselves so we don't end up too light. So we feel like we're going to get detached from our bodies, actually. And this becomes like a bit of a fear. So a lot of times when we use our worries, our concerns, our grudgements, our resentments, all of our bad memories to ground ourselves back in the body. But it becomes kind of like a toxic loop then. So while you're letting go of it, you might find that you're shifting your energy so quickly that you want to bring back those thoughts again. 3 of Pentacles. Then you ground yourself in work. So some of you could be very heavily into your work, actually, in this pile here. But there is a very caring side to you that cares so much about other people. And that's why also they wanted to give you the lessons that was maybe a little bit harsh early on, so that you don't end up giving and giving to the wrong people. They needed to give you the wisdom, and that's something you are learning now. So they are teaching you to take full charge in your own destiny, basically. So that all of everything that you have to give, you give it in a way that gives you joy as well. So, okay, this is a download for those of you who want it. That I know how to fulfill my destiny, to make Creator proud, to make myself fulfilled in a way that gives me joy. Thank you, it is done, it is done, it is done. Because that's what the lesson is here. It's for you to be fulfilled, to fulfill yourself in a way that gives you joy. And you're learning to be, you most likely been so sensitive in your life. And now you're learning to protect your soul. That's what the lesson has been, actually. You're learning to protect your soul. Because you would have been so open that you needed to, you could have been oversensitive. You learn to protect your soul, which I feel like you have. Or you are learning it now, to have that there's a little barrier there that's just for you, and that's safe, that's okay. And while you're having that created, this is when a lot of the spiritual stuff will happen, because then you have this sacred space to develop that side. And it's through that side you're going to learn to work with the laws of manifestations. Okay, so that was your message pile 1. So this was Baldur's pile. And please let me know how you're going. If you feel like sharing, please do. You don't have to. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Bye. Okay, so this is for the group that chose Odin. And we're going to first ask Odin for permission. And so we go through the loving energy of Creator of all to see if Odin wants to come through today. Yes, we actually get Odin's rune here, Ansus, and we get Sovelo here, which is your success. But I feel like for a lot of you, you have had to watch what you're saying. And it could be that you've been even guided to be careful. Okay, so let's say, what is going on with what you can say? Fool reverse. It's like you lost faith in maybe in trust, also in that you can be yourself. So some of you could have had a little bit of anguish actually, even a little bit of mental anguish in what you're allowed to say, how you're allowed to express yourself even. It could be that you feel like you're a little bit on the tightrope and you have to be really careful. 6 or 7 of Pentacles, so you have to be really careful, and maybe you feel like you have to control things in your life to the degree that it doesn't get to flow properly. So Odin wants to help you so that things can flow easier in your life and that you have less stress. So Four of Swords, sometimes Four of Swords shows up when people really need resting. They need to take time to meditate, to rest, to calm the mind. Maybe you haven't been sleeping as well. Let's get 9 of Cups reversed. It could be that you're worried about something, that something's going to end, or that you're worried about losing something, or that something's going to be taken from you, and that sort of anguish causes stress, and it blocks also of your intuition as well. So here we get the Death next to the Odin rune. So Odin is saying to this group that if you're a fear of endings, if you're a fear of change, and that will actually show up as a fear of commitment in your life. So are you committed in your life? Because the message that I got was whether you can or whether you can't, they're both true actually. You both can and you can't, because it depends on what you believe is possible. So in this group there's going to be a shift in consciousness, so you are going to be shown what is possible. And once you've been shown what is possible, you're going to start believing that you can as well. So someone here might see someone do something that you didn't think was possible. So we got an Empress reverse. So maybe in this process you have neglected yourself a little bit. You probably have neglected yourself a little bit because you have been trying to control things. And maybe you've been praying about it and you thought there was no answer, but there has been an answer. You just haven't seen it yet. It's like you didn't notice the answer, or something was right in front of you maybe even, and for some reason you didn't see it. But there was somewhere in your community there was an answer. But maybe the person communicating the answer to you didn't communicate it in a way that you understood. Because also the Empress reverse can also be this message, and it didn't come across in a way that it wasn't received properly for some reason. Or maybe it was you that sent a message and it was not received properly. But Creator of all, because this is a Holy Spirit, this is the Creator of all in the Ace of Cups, is working on this issue. Okay, so give me some more. What is this issue? Success reverse is something, a specific outcome that you want, that maybe you feel is being delayed, or you just feel like there's been some problems. And but this whole situation has given you an opportunity. It's actually the problem is the opportunity. That's the message. It's actually the problem that's the opportunity, because you're meant to solve this. And it's a practical problem. It's a very practical thing with some very practical steps that you have to take. And because it's such a practical thing, it could have been very difficult for people in this particular pile here to lift yourself up from the practical, from the from this plane of existence, because we get 444, and that's in the numerology grid. That's actually on the practical plane. So you could be so in a routine and so much doing all the daily tasks that you need to shift it up a little bit. And that's why also the Fool here came reversed. So it needs to be maybe a little bit more spontaneity in your life. Let's ask. Love. Yeah, more flow, more. Then maybe I actually feel like maybe you are meant to shift up something in your routine, or even see something from another angle. That could be what it is. See something from another angle. Because 9 here, 9 is a very powerful number, but it's reversed. And unless you get an 8, or a 6, it's also in the grid an isolated number then. That means that you could feel like your own personal power is separated from you. And what Odin is saying is it's not. That is an illusion. You need to lift yourself up and regain your personal power. So let's do this as a download from the Creator of all, and only say yes if you want this. You have free will. Creator of all, I know how to live up to my best potential in life, and that I make you proud, and it happens in a way that gives me joy. Thank you, Creator, it is done, it is done, it is done. And something will shift. If you pray about this, it will shift. Now we got a 6, so that connects to 9. So that will make it a lot easier for you to connect to your personal power. 6 is getting organized. 6 of Swords is to get organized. You're going to get out of troubled water where things have been maybe a bit cluttered, and into calmer waters. So you will simplify your life. You will organize your, if you have an office, your office will get organized. If you have, your home will get organized. You will get organized. There's something you care deeply about that gives you strong willpower. And this is where you also will have your wishes fulfilled as well. Knight of Cups. So basically it's a belief that they're shifting. So Odin is saying it's being shifted to give you an easier life. A life and that you deserve it. That you know that you deserve a life that is joyful, fun, artistic, creative. It flows. It's romantic. It's actually romance as well. And that it's safe and okay to have this without feeling that you have to push it away by being really, really busy. Chariot, 7. So now we get... So a lot of you have sacrificed a lot as well. And maybe you feel like you sacrificed too much, and that could have caused unhappy feelings in you. So you can free yourself from the obligation of sacrificing too much. Because people in this pile have worked really hard. They have worked extremely hard in this pile here. You worked hard and you've sacrificed a lot. The Magician. You're developing your skills and your talents. And you're refining yourself. But you're going to shift your energies. It's going to be, I feel like, the people that understands what you're talking about, they're basically gearing you towards them, because maybe your audience have been people that don't fully get it, and they're going to shift you so that people fully get what you're saying, but also that you get what they need to hear. Because it's almost like sometimes with the Empress, which is a 3 in numerology, it's always about something that will be communicated. But because she was reversed, it was maybe that the message, they were even not ready for the message, or you were not ready to speak about it. But now it's like there's going to be a shift, and you're going to be ready to speak about it and express yourself really clear. And so it'll be really easy for you to communicate this message. So easy, and everyone will understand what you meant. So now we got another 8. And 8, so you have hyperactivity in your life and practicality to the point where you are always busy and you need to be in a calm environment. You also got, you got 1, 8. So you got 7, 8 and 9, and in the grid that is hyperactivity. So people who have hyperactivity are super sensitive to sounds, to when there's a very hectic energy, like they really need to sit in nature. They need to slow things down in their lives. And they want you to create a sacred space, a sacred, maybe you will use crystals, but I feel candles maybe more than anything, and scented candles, something to do with scent, and candles, and then really cozy things that you're going to decorate with to make it really homey and cozy where you live. I'm going to now look in the tarot cards. It's like when you're at home, it needs to be peaceful. That's what they're saying. And clutter is no good for people with hyperactivity either. So if you need to do clutter clearing, you need to do clutter clearing. You know, because you really thrive in a tidy house, and when there's a lot of beautiful nature, like plants and calms, you know, not heavy, harsh energy, like real calm. Just a fireplace, you know. If you can't have a fireplace, have a candle. Light candles. Okay, show us Odin. Yeah, it could also be changes in your career and in your routine as well, because Knight of Pentacles flipped up. So we're asking Odin through the loving energy of Creator of all to come through. Show me, amen. Show me here for this part. So you're gonna have some kind of victory. They want you to know that good always wins over evil, always in the end. So if you've had some kind of battle in your life, then good always wins in the end. Four of Cups. Some of you could have felt like you needed more excitement in your life, so just make sure you don't attract drama. If you felt like life was too quiet, and I mean not exciting, so it's not like you're not busy and not doing things, it could just be like feeling nothing is exciting anymore. That has been done on purpose, because look here at the peacock. The peacock is a symbol of the gods from the fifth plane. It's also a symbol of the Creator and of your spiritual team. And if you're interested in Hinduism, a lot of the Hindu gods have the peacock feather. There's a correspondence between the Norse gods and the Hindu gods, because it used to be one belief system and it got separated. But Hinduism and Norse gods and goddesses, they all used to be one. So there could be correlation even between Odin and Vishnu and things like that. So this is a synchronicity that everything you do matters, and you do matter to them. Okay, Three of Cups in block can mean that there has been drama in how people have treated you. And sometimes you can speak of really nasty behavior, actually. That is very hard to recover from. But it happened. And but maybe now it's like it took a joy out of your life. The moon, they want you to ask the right questions so they can give you the answers that they always wanted to give you. So you most likely will be put in a situation where you're going to be a little bit of a detective. You're going to ask, what is going on here? So that when you ask those questions, you're going to get all the answers. And even if you're asking about, I'm not even talking metaphysical questions, I'm even talking just everyday questions. Through that, they're even going to be able to share with you answers to mysteries. And you got the devil in the past, so you could have dealt with some really toxic and bad people in your life. And there could have been all kinds of terrible things happened, like really nasty things. Page of Cups, and they could have stolen your innocence in many ways. But the gods want you to know, because I feel like this is also more the Creator than anything now coming through, that everything, you were not alone, even if you felt very alone. And nothing is a secret, because Creator knows everything. So if you felt like your dignity was betrayed, or like your trust was betrayed and your dignity destroyed and that you were de-evaluated, the Creator will restore your dignity. So let's do this as a download for everyone who watches this, that your dignity is restored to the Creator of all in a way that gives you joy and happiness and peace of mind in the highest and best way, with grace and ease. And this will also shift even in what type of food that you're eating. And that you no longer feel the need to numb yourself or hide away even. Because there was de-evaluation in your life, and it looks like it could have been childhood that you were in some ways de-evaluated. And that de-evaluation then had a ripple effect in your life. So maybe very impulsive behavior for some of you. Knight of Swords, yes. So it's like not being, it's like fighting with people, not getting on, lashing out, attracting people who treat you badly, who are challenging all the time. No harmony, no peace. It was like a bad pattern of creating, and there were people even who could have been your friends who it was just hard to get on because there was so much pain because of this devil card that it came out in one way or the other, and it ruined a lot of relationships. Ace of Wands. So they want to give you a new timeline. They want to give you peace. Another timeline where you are valued. Okay, Creator is saying to give you, I know how to value myself. I know how to be valued. Through Creator's truth, perspective and understanding, and that I know what it feels like to be valued. But if you want it, say yes, only if you want it. It's like that feeling of being valued and appreciated. That's what they want to give you. So this is what Odin is saying, but the download has to come through the Creator Wall. Because the Creator Wall is the energy through all things. This is where you get feelings and emotions that maybe you never had before. Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles, there could be some messages here in pile 3 as well. Nine of Pentacles is... the gods want to take, they want to come and take you away. They want to give you a break. So you most likely will be put in a situation where life will be more peaceful, will be more of an oasis, where things will be easier. And you don't have to worry about so many things. Yes, King of Wands. So maybe some of you will be entrepreneurs actually, and through your entrepreneurship, and some of you maybe already are, you will have much more say in your own destiny. But this will be created with flow energy. So it will be very hard for you to manifest this on your own. Like this is not something, because this actually is destiny. So it's not like something you can manifest against. For a lot of you, what it will happen from now on is something that is, I feel, pre-planned. That's for some of you, okay? So whatever happens now, if you try and manifest, you could feel like, oh, I'm just banging my head against the wall because something else is always happening. Well, you can never manifest against your own destiny, because your soul is also, you are here, but your soul is also in the afterlife, and it's your higher self. And it's manifesting your destiny here on planet Earth. You can't manifest against your own destiny, because your soul will recreate it all the time. So that could be why, if some of you have been stuck with your manifestations, that is why. Because you're getting so many major arcana cards. And when major arcana card shows up, it's always difficult for the person to manifest, because it's already been decided. So you're meant to manifest, you're meant to go with the flow, because this is something that's already been created. So you will learn how to communicate and use words to create magic in your life. And once you realize what the destiny is and where you're going, it will flow straight where you're meant to be, basically. If you have a partner, or if you're single, then it's your future partner. It's Two of Swords. It's someone walking straight towards you. And this is someone who is peaceful, actually. I'm going to do a... Yes, I got Queen of Swords reversed. You could have attracted someone in who has a lot of mirroring as well. This is someone who's meant to have a cool head on their shoulders, but if they have this very similar beliefs as you have, and you have very many similar ideas, but maybe you also have the same triggers as well. If you have the same triggers, you could end up triggering each other a little bit. So when you work on your triggers, then that will be harmonious. So this is a relationship I feel like it's meant to be really harmonious, and it's meant to flow, and you're actually going in the same direction. Hierophant is... it is the gods from the culture of where you were born. So it's actually where your ancestral, so it's not just where you were born, it's also where your ancestors are from. So if you were born in another culture than where your ancestors are from, you might be very drawn to another place because the gods are coming through that. But I was always really drawn into Hinduism, and I never understood why. And then I learned that Hinduism and the Norse gods were once one religion. And that's, of course, is then Vishnu and Odin. I believe that's my personal belief, is the same God. So that's why, so you might have some crossover where you're suddenly connected to another culture, but when you study it a bit more, it is actually your culture from way back. Two of Cups. So what you're going to focus on now is to heal your personal relationships. That is the energy that's coming in. And you're going to start seeing that if there is cultural differences going on in your life and there is communication problems, then you're going to start seeing that you're much more alike than what you realized. Much, much more alike. They want to open up your heart. Your heart is opening, but it's this devil card here. It's like this, someone did bad things and they broke a boundary in one way or the other. And it could be for some people who haven't been physically abused, but they have been mentally abused. They don't know they were mentally abused because it was so subtle. And it was like, one example is do as I say, not as I do. A lot of people grew up with that. And that's a boundary break. Because why should I do as you say and not what you do? Just the fact that someone expects you to do that is a boundary break. Because that's actually a belittling, de-evaluation in its own. And it actually sets us up to accept things that we never should accept in life. So it could be small like that, but it seems small, but it's actually quite big in its own. Once you're aware of it, we can quickly change it and heal it. But it could also be like a real nasty physical abuse. It could for some also be sexual abuse. It could also be a lot of mind games being played. And the devil and the Hierophant in tarot are two opposites. The devil is mocking the Hierophant because the Hierophant, the Hierophant is at its highest quality. It is someone who will say, I will live I will be the example. I will live what I want to see in the world. That was Gandhi. I will be the change I want to see. That's the opposite of the devil, who only manipulates and never does good things. So what they want you to shift is they want you to, be aware of this, but live the Hierophant reality. Be aware of the devil, because the devil, you have to know the devil is there, so you can avoid it, but to work towards, and also attracting people with this Hierophant vibration, people who are honest and of integrity. Then we get the Empress here. So you actually are planning. This is actually, you get an arrow of the planner. So you're planning and using strategy in your life to have the life that you want. But I feel like you have to shift a whole lot of stuff from the past back again. Back in it has to just go and stay in the past. But when you get a lot of 9s, it's a good idea to look at the 4th card, which is the devil. So once you're healing it, and see it for what it is, and understand it for what it is. Narcissistic abuse is a common thing in the devil as well. You become so much wiser, and the Odin is saying, hey, look at this. This can be your guides. It can be Odin. It can be another god from the 5th plane. It can be the creator of all, giving you new eyes to see with, so that no one will ever fool you or take advantage of you again. And you're also getting, let's see what else you're getting. You're getting the arrow of determination as well. So you're going to be very determined in your life. And so you got double 3. So you have like this, you have so much talent when it comes to your mind. What you can create is incredible. You can create incredible things with your mind. You are the magician. Like, you have so much talent. You are Knight of Swords. And Knight of Swords, when it is at its best, is someone who uses his mind to create. So it's like, it's a warrior actually. You can win every debate. You can, you'll be the inventor, and you be the record keeper and the knowledge keeper as well. You get Hierophant reversed. Hierophant reverse is again when there is hypocrisy, and instead of Hierophant finds it easier to just go and be with the devil energy, because it's so much harder to be in integrity. You know, it's like, one example is when doctors are just following, when they're following government guidelines, even though they're completely wrong, because it's so much easier to just follow the guidelines and not upset the status quo than to uphold the Hippocratic Oath. But then we get the Hierophant reverse. It's like an oath could have been broken, and you can make sure that now that you're an adult, you're in control now, and you'll survive all these things that you didn't think you could survive when you were younger. Seven of Swords. So now they've shown you something about people as well, and it could be something unexpected that's happening. And you'll never, again, it has to do with, you'll never be a fool, because now this, with the double 3 and the arrow of the planner and the arrow of determination, you're so determined now because you know, and even if it was maybe harsh to get the lesson that way, it's still better to know than to not know. So I feel like what people in this pile, you'll make your peace with God in this pile. That's what you're working on now. And you'll make a big commitment in your life. That is coming. And as you're making your peace with God, you will also heal your finances if it has been problems with finances. But the way you know when you made your peace with God is your intuition will flow, and you'll be so creative. And some of you will write a book here as well. Some of you become public speakers. Some of you will become inventors. Some of you will work in sales. Some of, like, you will have some kind of success in your life, and you will be determined to succeed. It's your destiny to have this Empress energy, to live this Empress life, which is a very blessed life. So, you know, where you're ending up and where you started, it's going to be two very different places. You also have the arrow of the intellect. So you have the arrow of the intellect, arrow of planner, and arrow of determination. So no one can stop you. You're going to be unstoppable in this pile. And I feel like for this pile, once you know that you have spiritual support, like you have this whole team of angels, spirit guides, the gods on the 5th plane, you have spiritual laws that work in your favor, you have creator of all, you have so much support that once you realize it's there, you don't have to worry about it anymore. Let's have a look at the spiritual laws. The Hanged Man. Okay, so the Hanged Man is theta brainwaves, working with theta and delta brainwaves. 4 of Cups. It will take away the boring moments. Remember the beginning, the first card? So the first card and the last card, 4 of Cups. Once you can create with the brainwaves, you'll never be bored again. It will never be another boring moment. You'll always access God consciousness. You'll always be able to create, and you will also be, you're full of ideas that are completely unique and outside the box, and you'll recreate your life using your own psychic energy connected with the creator of all. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this reading, and if you did like it, please like, share and subscribe. Bye! Okay guys, so this is the pile of Ra. So now I'm going to first ask for permission. So we're going to ask through the creator of all, the loving connection to creator of all, that we contact Ra. This is the Egyptian god Ra, to come through and give us a message for pile 3. This is the 3rd pile. Okay. Okay, this is, wow, I love this. This is definitely a yes, we can communicate with Ra, because look, this arrow goes straight forward like this. And I think people in this pile have been really curious to what is inside their own mind. And they're trying to see into themselves. And there's only so much you can see, because the mind is like the ocean. It's impossible to see what is below. Sometimes we can see what's below when it's clear water, and I feel like you're in a situation now where you're on, basically what the image I saw was like you're on a boat and you can see straight to the bottom. So you have some sort of amazing insight into yourself right now that a lot of times we don't. So a lot of times we can't see the bottom of the ocean, and the ocean being our minds, and the bottom of the ocean being the deepest part of ourselves. But for some reason now you can. They're giving you this insight actually into yourself, and also I think to predict things that will happen in the future in your life, or even with humanity. You've been given some kind of, I don't know, sneak peek into the future, almost is what it feels like. Okay, so yes, here we get Page of Swords. You have amazing clarity right now. Amazing clarity. Right now you do have in this pile. Oh wow. And this is Page of Wands. So, no, this is Knight of Wands. So Page of Swords, Knight of Wands. Right now you have this fire burning inside of you. You can see that with Kenas as well. You can see it with Urus. It's an amazing energy in your life now. And some of you have projected yourself forward as well to see what is going to happen, what is coming. Creativity. So this is a time now when you will most likely create, and some of you will be prophetic, like you create art that is prophetic, or you will write something and then it comes true. Like for those of you who are writers, you might write a book that's like a sci-fi and then it all comes true. Like you have some sort of insight right now into, you have access into the collective consciousness. And yeah. And it's you tapped into the destiny and the Akashic record of humanity, I feel. So for some of you, you've done this for yourself, and you done Akashic record work on yourself. This could happen in your dream as well, but I feel like for a lot of you, you even seen how this is gonna go in regards to what's happening to the planet. So what's happening there, Claire? Yeah, Three of Pentacles. So it's like how we're gonna all work together and move forward together. Some of you have done a lot of work in regards to this. This is cooperation, cooperating with others. And I feel like you're a leader here, because people are coming to you and they're watching you. They're seeing what you're doing and they want to do the same. So maybe for some of you, you've done something very remarkable. Three of Wands reversed. Some of you could have changed your mind about something. Or you decided not to talk about it and it's secret. And you don't want people to see it. And you're afraid that people will see it, actually. The Lovers reverse. So it's something that people expected you to communicate. Or you were going to communicate it and then you decided against it. But it's how you're using your mind. You are on a journey now to use your mind in a really amazing way. 6. And the only thing that can stop you is fears. And with Three of Wands reversed as well, it's like this is a devil, and then we have Three of Wands reversed. The only thing that can stop you is you, basically. It's okay. I need clarification. Two of Cups reversed, a little bit sideways, so it could be a trigger in a relationship. Maybe for some of you, this is not going to resonate with all of you. Some of you could be afraid of success because you think it's going to upset your relationship. That's what's for some of you. Or you're afraid, or you're holding yourself back so that you don't want to outgrow someone in a relationship. That's for some of you as well. Tower, yes. Don't want to upset the status quo. So sideways. It's like, don't want to rock the boat too much. Page of Wands, a little bit sideways. It's like, don't let go of your position. Even if you don't want to talk about it, don't let go of your position, because you're right. I see that here, that you're right, and other people are catching up to where you're at. But maybe you feel like you have to sacrifice a lot as well. What is that? So Page of Cups. Maybe you feel like you have to sacrifice part of yourself. Maybe your innocence, your creativity, maybe you have to face a fear. Because with Page of Cups, a lot of times people have to put themselves out there more. It's almost like with Three of Wands reverse and the devil, like you don't want to do that. But You got 3 pages. That is very, very rare thing to get. It means that people are ready for what you have to give. And what I said, with everybody's watching you, everyone wants to see you, everybody wants to almost get, like, everybody wants a piece of you right now, like you're very hot right now, like everybody wants what you got to offer the world. And it's a very remarkable thing, and it's very aligned here. So you're going to have a lot of luck and a lot of progress, and it has to do with how you're using your mind and how you're communicating. And right now you can make people laugh. You're making people feel alive around you, but maybe you're a bit afraid of the reaction you're getting. You get 7 of Cups, so you could be sacrificing too much on the material plane. So you can free yourself from the obligation of having to sacrifice too much. And maybe also for some of you, you feel like God is not answering your prayers. So here we get 3. So just as I said it, we need a 0 with the 7, and we got that with 10 of Pentacles. So basically the answers to your prayer is that your future is taken care of. You are being taken care of right now. Success, yes. Your success is assured, and your future is being taken care of. So basically you're learning to protect your soul. That's what you're learning. So that's why the devil it can be triggers, because you're just so sensitive. And you don't want to lose your sensitivity, but at the same time you want to be able to protect your soul, or you want to safeguard a little bit of who you are. And it shows up here with the Page of Cups. It's so pure. So the situation that you're being guided to put yourself more out there, but then you feel very vulnerable at the same time, and maybe you feel like you want to hide away, or you want to show people a different side to you that you invented, but it's not really who you are. So you're learning here to be yourself. You're learning to come out of your shell. There's a beautiful relationship here, and it's actually a soulmate relationship here in the cards, and you are guided here to listen to your heart more. And when I see so many court cards, this is definitely the people pile here. Like, there's so many people coming in, and I feel like these are soul family. This Knight of Wands could also be your soul mate, but it's behind you, so it could be that this is someone who's coming to you, but you won't see them until they're right there. So they could be in your life already. If you're single, it could already be in your life. You know all the same people connected here. If you're in a relationship, it could be that you have the same group of friends as well. But yeah, you guided here to really listen to your heart. But what you are living through right now is part of your soul plan. I feel like it's your divine destiny. So let's find out more in the cards. So there's a connection here between pile 2 and 3. So I said to pile 2 you have to watch pile 3. A lot of you, maybe not everyone, but for a lot of people in pile 2 there was a message in pile 3, and I just saw Odin now. So there is definitely a crossover between pile 3 and 2. So you might have to go and watch pile 2. Okay, so Knight of Swords. There could have been some challenges to your ideas. But see, sometimes we get these challenges because it's almost like we're being tested to see, do you really believe in your ideas? Because we will support you fully, but you have to also believe in it fully. Because we believe in you, but you have to believe in yourself as well. And that 6 of Swords is like you're going to reorganize your life a little bit so that it flows easier. Because there has been some challenges. But there are mental challenges that you are very equipped to handle. Because you can handle it. Like, you can do this. This is something that you were meant to solve this problem. Because I think this was maybe also in the other part. I don't remember if it was 1 or 2, but the problem is the solution. Because solving this problem is what creates, basically, it can create your whole future, basically. So 4 of Wands. So they say to focus on relationship, the relationship that I saw in the dices, to create a strong platform with this relationship. And it's, if you're single, then this is what you've been manifesting. So you most likely have a very similar mission in life. You're going to create a very safe and secure platform for yourself from which you can create. And Queen of Swords in the past. So Queen of Swords is very much where we have to be very, very smart. We have to be intelligent. We have to, it's street smart. Three of Cups, yes, street smart, knowing how to deal with all kinds of different people in all kinds of different situations. Some of you could also have a military background, that's for some of you, okay? Or you were connected to military people in your past, that's for some of you. Ace of Cups, so a lot of that more harsher energy is now shifted into a more peaceful and calmer energy. So a lot of people here will work with the law of compassion and the law of truth. So Ace of Cups, Ace of Swords, there's a lot of support here for you. And you're going to work with the law of compassion and law of truth. And many of you will transcend the planes of existence and work with Creator Wall directly. Because you're a healer. Here it comes up as the King of Cups. You are a healer, and people who get King of Cups are usually very diplomatic. So if you haven't had diplomacy in your life, then there's part of you that is actually naturally quite diplomatic. But it could also be the next step in your soul evolution, that this is a new personality. It's almost like a new side of you that's coming out, that's very, very diplomatic and very, very good at dealing with people. This is Ra, actually. This is a symbol of Ra. So you could be very drawn to Egyptian mythology or gods, or maybe you will have dreams. And birds are a symbol of Ra. And so it's very friendly, it's very compassionate. I had a vision of Ra, which is why I did the drawing. So what I said is like, Ra, I want to see your face, not the bird face. I want to see your actual face. So I drew what I was shown. And I'm sure these gods can shapeshift quite a bit, and they show the face that can communicate something to us. And with the face that I was shown, that I drew, is the face of someone very friendly, very kind, very warm. And that's Ra. That's how I saw Ra. And that's how, when you meet, and if you're single, the soulmate will come in on that energy of Ra. Very friendly, very kind, very sweet, very passionate, but not in a bullying kind of way. More, this is in a very, like, passionate about you and your life and seeing you succeed. You know, that's the energy. In the surprise, we get the Empress, which means that for some it will be surprise pregnancies. That's for some. Five of Swords. It could also be where you have neglected yourself a little bit. That this is where an area of your life that has been neglected, that you then need to take care of more. And it's Temperance. It's like healing your life where you've neglected yourself. So if for those of you who want to have children, then it's like starting to eat really healthy, detoxing, you know, being really careful even what you're digesting in when it comes to music and media and everything, basically, to purify everything. Because with the Five of Swords, with the Temperance, it's like a purification, but it's also where you have felt stuck in your life. Seven of Cups. So it's where you have felt stuck, where you've been looking for answers because you wanted to escape a situation that wasn't for your highest good. Yeah, Eight of Swords. So it's something you hang on to or have held on to, or maybe you're going to realize, wow, I'm hanging on to this and I didn't even know it was a problem because it seemed completely harmless to me. But with Eight of Swords, it's never harmless. It's always something that looks harmless, but it's not harmless. But when it's in the grid, it is actually in the grid of activity, and it's there to produce wisdom in the seeker. So you will gain a lot of wisdom out of this. And as you can see, the Empress, she has here new eyes. So this is either your spiritual team, the gods, or your higher self, or the Creator Wall. It gives you new eyes, a new perspective on life. King of Swords, a little bit sideways. So it's like maybe where you can see the hidden motives of other people. And here we get Eight of Wands. So some of you have even witnessed to some really crazy things that's happened. Even violence has been for some of you, not everybody. That you've seen this other side that maybe scared you, and you were like, wow, I have to make sure that doesn't happen. But now we get double 8, double 8. And double 8 is always about being wise. So when you get double 8, it's wisdom and a lot of energy. So you will gain more energy in your life. Now we get 6 of Wands. So it's almost like you gain some perspective that gave you the truth, that gave you wisdom, and then you have the confidence, because now you have like it's like you're street smart. So that was always there with you, but maybe it shifted a little bit, and maybe you lowered your guards, and then something happened, and then you had to be on guard again, because this street smartness never went away. It was always there, but maybe you didn't need to rely on it so much, and then you had to rely on it again. But it's like you're expressing it in a very positive and creative way. Yeah, Page of Swords. So this could also be a symbol of Ra, even though it's a tiger and not a bird, because the bird face is a symbol of wisdom, and Ra is a god who will give you the truth. It's a sun god. It's from sun worship, which a lot of religions and belief systems, actually most of them that we have today, is a retelling of old Egyptian religion, and it's sun worship. But the sun is also a symbol of the truth, of a divine presence that is always there in our lives, always. And when the sun sets, which is a god set, you know, it's like we go into more hardship. That's a symbol of when it's dark, when we're cold, when there's troubled waters. But then the sun rises again, always. So it's that knowledge that you always have the divine presence in your life, and you can see through these eyes. You can easily heighten your consciousness and see this. And for this pile, you'll be able to do spiritual work very, very easily. 9 of Wands, and you will also learn how to protect, like I said, with the sensitivity, which maybe you were more sensitive maybe later in life than you were earlier in your life. For some of you here, as you can see, Ace of Cups. That's for some, because it's like you had to be so tough earlier on, and then you became more sensitive, and then you had to learn to integrate the sensitivity with the toughness. But for some of you, the street smartness was like a misrepresentation of who you are, because it wasn't really who you really are, or even were. It is who you had to be. But then as things change, you could show this more sensitive side, but then maybe you became too sensitive, so now you're finding the balance. You're finding the balance to express yourself with ease, and so you actually have the arrow of the intellect. So with what I saw before, you are going to use your mind in an incredible, sophisticated way, and you're going to learn to integrate your spiritual side, your mind, onto the practical plane. That's what you're learning, and that's going to come through your emotional body. Actually, that's how you're going to do it. So many of you could be working with chakras to integrate your emotional body in your body and your spiritual body. Some of you could work with all these different light bodies work, like understanding how the light body is, how it works. And also some of you could be traveling astrally. Let's see, so there is a strong divine presence in your life. Here we get Judgment. So it could be that you've been so wanting to work on yourself spiritually that you initiated a spiritual lesson for yourself. What was this spiritual lesson? King of Cups. So also you could become King of Cups, which is the most evolved. Okay, so Page of Swords is one of the most... It's hard to tell who is more evolved, Page of Swords or King of Cups, because they're a bit different. Page of Cups is the most evolved healer, and Page of Swords is the most evolved mind. So it's emotional and mind. And then you have King of Pentacles, which is the most evolved on the practical plane. So what you are learning now is, because you've mastered so much on the mental plane, you mastered now the emotional, now you're going to master the material world. So let's see. Yeah, so we got Chariot reverse. It could be that while you are learning to operate here in the material world, because we got it reversed, that you are doubting a little bit yourself and your abilities. So let's find out. And this is purely on a practical level. Yeah, so it could be that you are bridging elements in your life. So we've got Temperance reverse, that you feel like they're not compatible. So let's see. Yeah. Ace of Swords reverse, it could be that maybe you feel like you're working against your own instincts a little bit. Let's see. Five of Swords, yes. So maybe you've had some frustrations on the practical plane. Let's see more. Justice reverse. So maybe there's been some. For some of you, you could even deal with. You could have initiated something, a spiritual lesson, that maybe you just be like, I feel like I've outgrown this, and now I want to move on to the next thing, and then it's kind of lingering, but it's there because they want you very well, like they want you as kind of established and set in your life. Here we get a Hierophant, which is here for a one. So for a lot of you, you will be guided to marriage, actually. That's for a lot of you. You'll be guided to have these limitations right now, because it's through limitations that we actually grow, because it's like a plant. Plants love to have their root system a little bit tight, actually. A smaller pot for some reason. It's like the root system gets really compacted, and they love it. You give them too big of a pot, it's almost like they can't utilize it. So maybe you feel like your situation now is a little bit tight, but it's actually so that you can utilize everything and you can reach everything in your life to create with. And if they give you too much room, it's going to be too chaotic and you won't be able to bring all the elements together. That's what they're showing me. So that is what's happening here in pile 3 with Ra. So is there any final messages from Ra? Bottom card is Hermit. So for some of you, some of this journey you've had to undertake on your own, or only with maybe 1 or 2 people, but because we saw so many court cards in the dices, I feel like there's people coming back into your life now, or the Empress here as well. It's like there are people coming into your life now. They're very, very drawn to your energy. You have grandfather wisdom and grandmother wisdom, no matter what age you are. And you also have 10 of Pentacles here. So for some of you, you could inherit some money from grandparents or parents, or it's coming in. That's for some of you. It could be an inheritance coming in regards to finances. So that they're saying that's for some of you as well. So that is what's coming in here for pile 3, Queen of Swords. So everything that you are will be integrated now into your life in a very sophisticated way. And for many people here, you're spiritual teachers and healers. And you'll have so much joy in your life. And by being joy, I feel like for a lot of people here, you're going to be pure joy. 3 of Cups upright. That people are just, they flock to you. They just love it. They love your energy. You make people feel so good and happy. And it's actually Ra, the god Ra, is working straight through you to bring this happiness, this pure bliss coming through your heart to the people around you. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed this reading. And if you did enjoy and like this reading, please like, share, and subscribe for more videos. Bye, everyone.